Hey, how y'all doing today? I'm Anthony, you're watching Palmetto Prepared, and today we are going to be cooking a pizza, but this time it's not going to be using anything conventional. Alright, so basically there was a challenge that was put out by Cooking Preparedness 101, and it was brought to my attention by Huples Cat. Now, I wasn't actually a part of this challenge initially, but I was interested anyway because I really like cooking. I like pushing myself to try new things. Now, what this challenge is you have to make a pizza like basically pretending you're grid down. So you can't use anything that's fresh, like something from a refrigerator. We're going to pretend you don't have a garden, so I can't use anything from the garden. So I have to use everything from my food storage to make this pizza and cook it using outdoor methods or methods that don't require like electricity. So that kind of made me, stretch my mind muscles a little bit, and I really wanted to go ahead and give this a shot because I'm not going to use a prepackaged dough because that's just too easy. I want to make my own, and that was one of the hardest parts, trying to think of how I'm going to be able to make my own dough because I'm not even going to use yeast just because I don't know how far out we are talking here in a grid down situation. So instead of doing like a sourdough starter or anything like that, I'm just going to not even worry about yeast right now, and I'm going to try something else. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a baking powder style bread. Since baking soda requires an acid, and I don't have any buttermilk, or I can't use buttermilk, so I was like, well, I guess I'll use baking powder. So we're going to give that one a try. I'm going to go ahead and start making the dough first. Alright, so first things first, I'm going to start off this real simple bread with 2 cups of flour. I need to get more flour. It's a good thing I have a whole bunch in the pantry. Alright, that's about 2 cups worth. I'll go a little bit more. Maybe a third of a teaspoon of salt. Now we're going to add a teaspoon of baking powder as our leavening agent. Because it's my dough, I'm going to throw probably half a teaspoon of sugar in it. So, cool. Now I'm going to mix all this up, the dry ingredients, with a fork. Alright, now everything's mixed together. You want to make a little bit of a well in the middle, as you do with basically any bread, like I'm making pasta. And I'm going to toss some olive oil in there, because I think olive oil tastes pretty good with most breads. I'm kind of just eyeballing it, so if you're making this at home, just do the eyeball thing. And some water. I got a cup full of water here. I'm not going to use all of it right away, but I'm going to probably put in about half, a little bit more than half. And I'm going to start working it together slowly. And with all breads, eventually get to the point where you got to knead it by hand, so that's what I'm going to do. Put it out here. Alright, and we're just going to play with it until we get a nice dough ball. Alright, when you get your dough basically where you want it to, I'll always add more. If it's too wet still, obviously you always want to add some more flour. But you want to get into a nice ball. So I got into a good ball. Any kind of bread, basically the same thing depending on what you do. Put it in a ball, and I'm going to let it rest. Now, all the years I've been making pasta, I know that it's so much better to mess with dough when it's rested for a little while. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take it and I'm going to put some of this flour back in the bottom of this bowl. And I'm just going to let it sit and rest for a few minutes. Basically what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go outside and I'm going to start up the grill. Alright, so in an effort to show you just exactly how insane I am, I'm also going to start my fire, or my grill, using a piece of paper, scrap piece of paper, and some of my charcoal that I had left over from making charcoal. I will post that video down below in the comments or the description. That way you can see if you want to make your own charcoal. Boom. Alright, so now of course it is slightly windy today. So who knows if this is actually going to work, but I got the Uber leaving ferro rod, so there we go. All right, we got fire. I'm gonna go back inside and start making a pizza. All right, so the dough's been resting for probably about 20 minutes now while the fire starts to, make some coals. I'm gonna get some flour on my hands, and we're gonna see how this dough turns out. Seems to be all right. All right, now I'm not gonna use all this dough on one pizza just in case the first one sucks. I wanna be able to have another chance. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take my ridiculously big knife over here because my other one's dirty, and I'm gonna cut the dough in half. All right, put that one back in, and this is the one I'm going to be working with for the pizza. So I'm just going to start working it out. All I'm going to do now is just put the tin foil down, spread flour on top of it. That way I can make the pizza on the tin foil, and I can just use that and carry that out. So when it comes down to ingredients, I had to kind of search deep in the pantry to see what I can find. Now, the good thing is I make pizzas around here often, so I do have some things already stashed away. And one of them being pizza sauce, Canadina pizza sauce. This stuff is like $1.50. It's great. I also pulled out some mushrooms, canned mushrooms, because I like mushrooms on my pizza. I really wish I could put some onions on there, though. I love onions on a pizza, too. Then I pulled out some Armour-dried beef slices. I considered using beef jerky, but I figured it might be a little too thick. I saw these down in there, so I was like, well, might as well get to use them now. So, beef slices. And of course, for cheese, since I can't use fresh mozzarella or even refrigerated mozzarella, I had to go to the next best thing, and I used the 4C Parmesan and Romano. Since it's a hard cheese, it can be stored on your shelf. So, I'm going to go ahead and use this because what's pizza without this? So, let's go ahead. Oh, and I'm going to put olive oil on the crust before I put the pizza sauce on. So, let's go ahead and put all that stuff on there. Use your hands. That's how you're supposed to do it. Alright. Alright, I like to put my stuff on top of the sauce and then the cheese on top of that. So we're going to go ahead and just tear up our beef. See how it tastes. Very salty, but not bad. Got mushrooms. I'm sure the cheese is super salty, just like the beef. And I'm probably going to have some sort of hardcore salt episode eating this, but I don't care. It looks good. All right, I apologize about the wind, but that's why I'm doing it in the Weber versus doing it out in the fire pit. But basically, I put my pizza cast iron down because, like I said, I do a lot of cast iron cooking. I'm looking at about 600 degrees, so this should not take too long. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this pizza down right here on the stone, using the tin foil. That way I can pick it up off the stone, and I'm going to bake it. All right, it's been about, I don't know, 12 or 13 minutes. It smells amazing out here. It smells like pizza that you get from like the fair or something. Nice. Crust seems done, so we're gonna go ahead and pull it off. Let it cool. All right, there it is. Hopefully the wind doesn't pick up too bad, but the cats are all starting to come over here and smell something because they smell the pizza wafting. Up here comes one. Yep, that's my pizza. Get away. All right, there it is. As you can see, the bottom of it really didn't get that brown. I mean, there's some spots, yeah, burned, but overall not too bad. The crust is nice. Let's go ahead and slice it. Slicing this on a plate like an idiot, but whatever. Here's the pizza. I'm gonna go ahead and give it a try, see how it tastes. Of course, I get the one piece that wasn't cut right, so here we go. Try this one. Wow, that's really good. Not near as salty as I thought it would be with that meat. All right. That was actually really good. I'm gonna go ahead and finish this as soon as I finish up filming before I even start editing. But I really hope y'all learned something from this video. This is one of those things that I don't think it's a lot of press, a lot of coverage, and it really needs to. Being able to think on your feet and be able to have, like, you know, a problem and make a solution with what you have. So adapting and overcome, semper gumby, that kind of fun stuff. So I really hope you enjoyed this video. I had to try to put forth a good effort to try to beat Mosaic Master because he put a really good video out and he had some arepa and that looked absolutely amazing and his idea was fantastic. So I had to kind of put something forth that I'll try to beat him. I'll put that video in the description box down below. Thank you for Cooking Preparedness 101 for the challenge and letting me be a part of it. I really do appreciate that. Like I said, I'll put all that stuff down in the description so you can see my source material. But this was a really good challenge. I really enjoyed it. Really good mental exercise and I really liked being able to put forth something and actually come out successful this time. So if you liked my video, please give me a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't. I will catch y'all later, alright? Bye. Oh, and just in case y'all are wondering, I'm making a conventional pizza now with the other piece of the dough. So I got some pepperoni, mozzarella cheese, and those mushrooms, and pizza sauce. So it's really not that much different except I'm using a fresh cheese, some pepperoni, which I could have used anyway because it was dry meat, and some basil underneath all of that fun stuff. So I'm going to go ahead and put this down there, and I'm going to enjoy this real pizza as well.